Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, gamers, geezers, geeks, film aficionados, and people who talk a little bit close to the mark, Nige. Really close to the mark. It's this week's Monkey Nut Punch podcast / live show on Facebook, YouTube, and all good podcast directories. And in this episode, I've got a giant man baby creature thing. Keith. Hello, Keith.
Hiya. I've got to tell you guys this. I'm watching Facebook, and for whatever reason, it's doing subtitles. Apparently, you said "Hello, Jessies," according to the Facebook.
Good, you Jessies, the two of you. Two of you, absolute Jessies. Anyway, I don't know why
you're talking to the people who are watching.
Yes.
Hello, Jessies.
My watch just told me went live. Awesome. So yes, we're live, and we've got Keith who can't keep things in the corridor. So Keith, that's it. You're done. Nige, how you doing?
You all right, mate?
You streaming this
all
Wednesday?
Good. Yeah. Can we just remove Keith for a minute there?
Perfect.
Oh, that's so much better.
Oh,
brilliant. Oh, sorry, mate.
He's trying to pop
He's trying to pop himself back in.
Remove
himself again.
You know what? I know why Nige did that, because he wants the top slot. That's why. Because when we go to panel, he doesn't really the bottom. Right. Oh, fucking hell. We're really gents. Can we be a bit professional rather than screw around with the studio?
We're children.
Words.
You know what would be really funny?
Oh, boy, Gareth.
Right. While these guys are just dicking around, on this week's show, we will be talking about the Snyder cut for Justice League, which HBO Max can be putting out. We'll be talking about Tenet, the second trailer released. Still don't know what the fuck's going on with that one. We will be talking about how Ruby Rose looks like she was fired for Batwoman for being totally shit. Then we're going to go on to some video game news. I'm going to start with what I'm lovingly referred to as the Deer Lady, because she's mental, and you won't believe this until you see it. And I'm not joking when I say that. Anyway, I've got my two children have now calmed down, so we can carry on with the show. So let's start off with the Tenet trailer, which looks really good. And I've lost my mouse. Where is my mouse? There's my mouse. So which looks really good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run this in the background while we're.
It does look interesting, to be fair.
I'll be honest with you. It looks interesting because I've got It's like Death Stranding. I haven't got a fucking clue what's going on.
It's done by the same person who did. Was it Inception?
Chris Nolan.
Yeah, so
one of the reasons I'm interested in it. Fortunately, I haven't got the sound on for this because of copyright reasons. But it's weird because things are running backwards, yeah?
Yeah.
And you've got this guy here. I have no idea what the actor's name is, but he's got a very tight, tidy beard.
I have beard envy, to be fair.
Yeah, it's got a very nice and tidy beard. So he seems to be looking after some woman there, looking after her. So I imagine he's got like a cob sort of person. But for him, time isn't running quite the right way round.
Well, it doesn't. 1 minute it's running forward, then it seems to be running backwards. But
it seems to be like encountering pockets where it's not going the right way round.
Yeah, it goes in reverse.
Yes.
And it's when he meets this lady here in like that, like
he's got magnetic hands.
And then he's shooting a gun, but he's not shooting a gun. He pushes the trigger, and the bullet comes back from the target into the gun, and the shell casing comes back into the gun.
Yeah.
And you're like, what?
It's absolutely mad. You got Kenneth Branagh in it, which is a good sign. And also you got what's his mush?
Patterson.
Not Patterson. Old man.
It's Patterson.
Michael Caine. Michael Caine's in every fucking
Nolan.
Chris Nolan movie, one way or another.
Yes, he needs to be.
Wasn't he sort of? He was in Dunkirk, but he was a voiceover or something, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was on the radiator. What's his mush? Tom Hardy. It's really weird because you kind of see everything normal, but it's like there'll be a bit where he goes into a room with Patterson, and it's like things are running backwards. So you can see like is he going to get unshot? This starts off. Is it like Red Dwarf backwards? See, look, the thing with the car.
Yeah.
So they've got things that can like do like controlled time loops. So the car crashes, he hits a button, it rewinds, everything goes back to normal. What the fuck is going on?
I don't know.
I was told. I saw a news clip saying, "Oh, the right answers as to what's going on in Dalnet." No, it doesn't. It asks for questions. It doesn't give any answers. Oh, it says there's no time travel. Okay, no time travel, but
no, it might not be time travel, but time effect. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Affect time in a compressed space, like you could with Quantum Break, if you ever played Quantum Break, where you could affect time in a compressed space and then pause it and rewind it and do stuff with it. And he doesn't look like Batman. He's probably going to be good in this, but that's right.
Certainly looks interesting.
Yeah, he looks more like fucking Batman than he does. Yeah, he looks like a fucking gay art dealer.
He does look like he's about to sell some art.
But that's the character.
That's what he is. That's what he is. He's a gay art dealer. He might be, but the film is asking more questions. I do think there's like, I don't think there's time travel as such. I don't think it's going to be like Back to the Future, where the black guy gets sent back in time to sort something out. I think that they have things that run contra to actual time. So you got things that run backwards and stuff. So you can turn falling. So I fell off the building, so I can do the reverse fall off the building and get to the top of it. Yeah, just find me an open window.
But they still haven't confirmed when it's coming out and how they're going to release it. Personally, I hope they wait. But I hope they wait until cinemas can go back properly and then they release it, because this isn't a fucking premium on-demand one. You need to see this in the cinema, because Chris Nolan shoots all of his films for cinema screens.
What do you call it? He's desperate to have this. He's just the best. Like, he wants this to be the first film that you watch when you get out of quarantine. He really definitely wants it. I don't blame him. I haven't seen. He hasn't done a stinker ever at this point in time. So,
it does look interesting.
No, he hasn't done a stinker. You could argue that the third Batman film was the weakest of the three, but still a good film. A stinker. No, it's never done a stinker.
That would have been a highlight for another director.
True.
Any other director? True. Yeah, so it's going to be that. So, has anyone got any idea what this film's about?
Nope.
Nigel! He said, right, hang on, just pause for a moment, right? When we do these things, I like having a little title bar, because I've got OCD, yeah, and a ticker running across the bottom. Yeah, so Nigel's like, I've got to put it in, yeah, because, and I said to him, I made a scathing joke saying, it's very well you're spending all this time putting the little bits together, but you must remember to press the fucking button.
I remembered. A bit late though. I remembered.
We're finishing it off.
I know.
We've got comments to go through.
I'm sitting there looking in the comments going, I'm in the wrong section here. Why can't I select the bits?
One job.
One job.
Yes, Keith.
Unlike
one
Keith,
job.
Yeah, Keith's got one job too. Both of you fluff both of it.
One job to release the podcast in a reasonable manner.
Not my job. That's not my job.
No, his job is to get the podcast to me.
Yeah. That's my one job.
Actually, saying that, you probably don't need to get it to me. I'll show you a quicker way of doing things. But we got some comments about it, because Dave brilliantly is always on the on the chat. So hello Dave, how are we doing? And
David's diddling.
David's diddling. So we've got the
also Duncan might be still with us on YouTube watching us. Dave's on Facebook. I don't know if Dunk's still there, but he had Duncan had complained that Keith was in the middle until we swapped him, and he was absolutely fine with that. So Fair dues. Fair dues.
Around. I'm gonna put you to set you all to guests next time. All right.
Yeah, David said about Michael Caine. Yeah, I thought it was pretty good as Alfred.
Hang on a second. Some people just, I can't do it. I'm smiling. I'm gonna go. Some people just want to watch the world burn, Master Bruce. I can't. That's terrible. A face can't.
He says with a smirk.
Yes.
Yeah. Did you know?
Right.
Right.
He's not
to
refusing,
work out.
He's not refusing to work out. He's desperately trying to distance himself from sparkly vampires and associate himself with people like James Dean. Okay, because he made the dumb fucking statement saying that James Dean didn't work out in the 70s. No, James Dean didn't work out in the 70s. He was fucking dead. Let me check. I'm sure James Dean was dead in the 70s. I'm sure because he had a car crash because he spoke to Peter O'Toole when he got a new car. And Peter O'Toole goes, really creepily goes, you will die in that car. So
James Dean, he's the old Hollywood bloke.
55. Hang on a second. He died in 55. Of course, James Dean didn't work out in the 70s. He's been dead for 20 years.
Mate,
I agree.
Mate, he's pushing up daisies.
I agree with Dave's last comment here. I'm not saying it was a bad movie. It's probably one. If I had to pick Chris Nolan's worst movie, it probably would be The Dark Knight Rises.
Insomnia.
I think.
Insomnia.
Yeah. Okay. No, you're right. Yeah. No, that is worse.
Okay, still a good movie.
Yes.
Yeah. So for the podcasters, what Dave has said that The Dark Knight Rises wasn't a bad movie, but it wasn't as good as The Dark Knight. But Tom Hardy was awesome as Bane. Sort of made him, didn't it? Bane.
Tom Hardy had been around for ages.
Had he? But I'd never heard of him before that.
It was made by Star Trek, mate. Believe it or not.
Is in what?
Tom Hardy was.
I've noticed him.
Yeah, Tom Hardy was in Inception as well.
Yep, he was in Inception. Yeah, he was in Inception. He's been around with Chris Nolan for a good while.
Oh. Yeah. He also said he's comparable to Heath Ledger as Joker. I thought Heath Ledger's Joker was awesome.
It was a good performance. I like Tom Hardy. I know he can chew up the scenery sometimes, but I like Tom Hardy. And apparently he's a nice bloke in real life. So
yeah, he did not so long ago. He did the children's BBC story time reading.
Yes,
because they record a, and I think it was watched more by mums than children. To be fair,
I
don't think they went to sleep after.
I really want Jason Statham as Jack Norrie, but I want to do Jason Statham as doing Jack Norrie.
I was going to.
As he stands there,
it goes so.
As Jack lifts his top off, stands there, and looks around the room as the camera pans.
No, hang on a second. No, he'd be sitting there in a chair, and he'd be like with a reading book, going like Samuel L. Jackson would go to fuck to sleep. Yeah, he'd be like, and Jack stood there. He goes in front of the giant, and he goes, "Fuck off, you muppet!" And he pulled out his AK and blew the cunt away.
I was going to ask, is it still called Jack and Norrie? Because we're showing our age here, but is it still called Jack and Norrie or not?
I don't know. I think it's BBC Story Time or something.
Yeah. Because it was always Jack and Norrie. They always used to get celebrities to do Jack and Norrie. So it's a shame. I remember Sylvester McCoy doing
the best Jack and Norrie was
CBB's Bedtime Stories.
James and Giant Peach, read by the one who goes, "Oh, matron" from Carry On. Oh, such a good job. I was going to say Sid James, but Sid James is the old man.
No, he's the other one. He's going.
Yes.
Yeah. No, he's the other. Yeah. Kenneth Williams.
Oh, dude, I remember that. That was done really well. He did that. That was one of the best Jack and Norries, I think, was Kenneth Williams, James and Giant Peach. I would have liked that story. Okay, all right. So let's move on from one DC property where we've been carping on about the Dark Knight and whatnot to the next one. Oh, he presses the button. He presses the button on time. He presses the button on time. Well done, Nige. Nice. We'll get this show together finally. Now,
there's on the back.
There's been a joke going around the internet for like the last year and a half about release the Snyder cut, when they talk
This isn't
about
a joke. There are a lot of
no,
people
this
that
isn't a
are
joke.
serious about it.
Keith, opener. Let me open the story. I open and then you contribute. So there's a joke going around the internet for the last 18 months. And what it was is they kept going to Warner Brothers and Zack Snyder released a Snyder cut of Justice League. And everyone's like, blah, 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 it doesn't exist, this, that, and the other. And because if you don't know, when Justice League was filmed, Zack Snyder had to stop because his daughter committed suicide and Joss Whedon had to fill it in. And then it turned out to be a complete kind of shower of shit. I think that might have the fact that Joss Whedon has lost it creatively. But Zack Snyder's one would have been a bit darker and a bit broodier, and the studios didn't really want that. So there's this theory that a Justice League one was floating around outside there. Apparently, HBO Max are going to go, yeah, we'll pay an extra $30 million and we will put out this this version of the Justice League. Now, I don't know if they're going to do it as Justice League Part 1 or they're going to do the full thing, but we've got this and another guy's come out and turn around and says, yes, I'm playing Darkseid with a nice kind of portrait image from the Mortal Kombat video game, the other one, Injustice video game. And I think it's gonna be interesting.
Still going to be shit.
Now, Keith, now you can talk.
It's still going to be shit. I mean,
Now put him on mute so no one can hear him.
now who's been the child?
Yeah, I know.
It's still going to be shit. I mean, it wasn't a joke though. There were people that were deadly serious wanted the Snyder cut because there are apparently Zack Snyder fans out there. I mean, I know someone who likes him. Poor choice in movies.
He's not an arsehole. He's not an arsehole. He's never been rude to anyone.
No, but his DC universe.
Yeah, I know, but you know,
it's not like. No, I'll give him that. But his
people
DC universe movies are not good.
Yeah, they're not good. But you know, some people. I'll be honest with you. I'm just bloody curious to see what it looks like. I really am. I have no idea.
Yes, true.
Most
I
people
would like to see the black Superman suit. What was going on there? Because we saw those pictures and it never transpired. But I mean, look. Admittedly, the studio fucked with Zack Snyder's movies after what was it, Man of Steel? Because you know people reacted so badly to Man of Steel, and rightfully so. That final act in Man of Steel is crap. If you know anything about Superman, you know there were people that were critical of the other changes. The other changes kind of made sense. But that final act, you know, in Superman lore was not good. The studio cinematic release of Batman versus Superman is fucking terrible. And whoever the execs were at Warner Brothers that made the decision to cut the movie the way they did should have been fired from the offset.
I think they have been, Keith.
Yeah,
I think
hope so.
So many studio heads and production people in the DCEU. No one knows what the fuck's going on anymore.
The extended cut at least makes sense, but it still has that stupid, mother's Martha. My mother's Martha. Oh, we're friends now. It's
I'm
so
waiting. Hang on a
ridiculously
second.
bad.
Hold on a second. I'm waiting for when Superman fights Darkseid, yeah, and he's punching him, and Darkseid goes, Martha. He goes, your mother's called Martha, and he goes, no, and then batters him one.
Don't you say my mum's name? And his. And his. And his.
But interestingly, they are going to have to do reshoots, which means that Ben Affleck is going to have to play Batman again.
Yeah.
And apparently they're all coming back for reshoots. They've got an agreement. They're all coming back. And there are rumors flying around that they're going to do it in parts. The other rumors are flying around as they're going to do it episodically, so that they're going to convert it into episodes because the guys at HBO Max want their Mandalorian. Well, this is no way going to get the views the Mandalorian is. I'm telling you that right now. There is a niche set of fans out there that like the Snyder universe and lap up Batman versus Superman, love the extended cut, and I will give you that the extended cut at least makes sense, but I don't like the Zack Snyder universe. I don't. I will say I quite liked Ben Affleck's Batman. I know I'm in the minority there, but that's about the only thing I liked. I didn't like how he shot people to shit, but I don't think that was Affleck's fault. But I quite liked Affleck as Bruce Wayne and Batman. It kind of worked for me, and I would have loved to have seen them do a proper fucking live version of The Dark Knight Returns with Affleck in the role as an older Batman. That could have worked, but you know, Jeremy Irons as Alfred didn't work for me. And the Justice League movie is so shit. It's just bad. It's just bad.
I think the thing that I found most disturbing about the Snyder version of Batman was instead of the bat symbol on the light on top of Gotham PD's headquarters, had just like a mustache up there. It's like we need a man with a mustache because it didn't look like anything like a fucking bat. Look, that's a mustache for the thing.
I did like what's his face as Chief Gordon. That's another thing. I did like.
Yeah, he worked as Chief.
But I like him. I genuinely like him. He is a really versatile actor. And he's often under credited.
Yeah.
But he played two very different roles in that.
Yeah.
Shows how as an actor. Love it.
Okay. I'm just
Love him.
curious to
Anyway.
see it out of everything. It'd be interesting to watch because he's not very Hollywoody, shall we say. Doesn't follow that kind of pattern. He just does what he wants. That doesn't help him in certain cases, but I think that maybe this will work out fine. Dave, is Justice League any good? Dave asked, is Justice League any good? To which I reply, you can watch it on Amazon Prime. Watch it.
I just in response to just what you said, I'm just interested to see how they release it. They're going to release the full 2-part vision, or they're going to release it in this rumored episode cut, so they're going to re-fucking so. But what we're not getting is the asking for. That's not happening. It's going to be okay. Snyder's going to be in charge of it, but whether he gets to make his full vision, don't know.
Well,
but I'll agree with you.
Let's see. It'll be interesting. The guy who played Darkseid, I'll show you his face. Not I'll show you his face. I'll show you the tweet he sent out. He popped out a tweet because I think this is being driven by AT&T. I keep pressing the wrong bloody button. This is being driven by AT&T, who recently acquired Warner Brothers, and I think AT&T have gone to Warner Brothers. Yeah, now all this shit that you do, where you virtue signal to each other, fuck off. We make money. If you're not interested in making money, there's the door. And I think that that's the case. And I think that J.J. Abrams is going to have a fucking wake-up call when he starts working with them if he does something shit, because they'll fire his ass immediately.
But interestingly, you say that, but it's on HBO Max, and HBO has become the wokest fucking woke fuckers there are at the moment.
Yeah. But it's hang on, owned by AT&T. So AT&T are going to start pushing for things that make money.
By the sounds of it, they are, because a lot of people at Warner Brothers didn't want this to happen, and apparently this did come down from AT&T. It was AT&T who went, no, you're fucking doing this, shut the fuck up. Yes, no, you could be right. There could be for entertainment again that is free from agenda and just naturally evolves.
Yeah. Right. Anyway, so the guy, actor, fella called Ray Porter. This is the funny thing is, because he says, "I've given permission. I'm Ray, and I played Darkseid in Zack Snyder's Justice League." There it's out now. It's not official Twitter. He hasn't got a little tick mark, and he doesn't look like a tramp. Is this real? Are we being played?
Double underscore as well. Ray double underscore Porter.
So we couldn't even get Ray underscore Porter or Ray Porter. Oh,
but
maybe.
Interestingly, Darkseid was meant to be in it. So
yeah,
we know that.
We know that because it was hinted at in Batman.
Yeah. So I think if they're going to do this, they're going to have to put Darkseid in there, because that's going to be the hook. That there is a niche market that wants to see the Snyder Cut, but it's not huge. I think the bigger hook is we got Darkseid. Come look at this shit, and that will get the punters in. That will get the punters through the door.
Yes. Okay. Let's move on to our next one. So we've got. There's rumors that Rebels is going to have a Clone Wars style animation sequel. I've heard this from many sources, but trying to find decent information on this is quite hard. I find it weird because I thought that the Rebels already had the same animation style as Clone Wars, just slightly updated.
Yeah, it did. But they're talking about one. I think they're referring to the fact that the one that came afterwards, that was set in the Disney universe, was so shit and so poorly received from its animation style. I think whatever they release next is we're going back to the Clone Wars style animation. I think that's what it means. Yeah,
so we got that. Hopefully, I like Rebels. I enjoyed Rebels. Rebels was I watched it out of curiosity, and then it started getting good. It did do what the Mandalorian's done for its first season and be spectacularly average until that last episode, where those two guys got beheaded and Moff Tarkin turned up, not Doth Tarkin, turned up, and we could have a look at that. That's going to be interesting in regards to that.
I have to say, final season of the Clone Wars, fucking awesome. Everything people have been saying about it, it really is that good. Those final 4 episodes. I mean, the final episode isn't the best. It's the second to last episode, but they are fucking amazing. And they really, really, really make me want to see a live action version of Ahsoka Tano. She is awesome.
I want to see a live action version of Ezra Miller.
Well,
Ezra Miller
as well.
Ezra Bridger. Ezra Miller. Ezra Miller is just a character who's made up. He doesn't exist. You think he's an actor playing a part. He's not. He's an actor playing an actor playing a part. Ezra Miller's just a facade.
I like, but I mean, you know, if it's going to happen, Dave Filoni if he can find a way, he'll do it, because, you know, there's rumors that he's going to be putting lots of characters in The Mandalorian, and he has been. I mean, I love how he put lots of little things from his sort of area of the universe in there. We had the Loft Cat in an episode, which I thought was really cool, and in The Mandalorian, and I love how he puts all those little Easter eggs in there. So, you know, don't say it won't. I think it could happen. Okay. So yeah, no, I love Rebels. I've been watching the Clone Wars and can't believe I didn't watch it. I like the Clone Wars now, but the final season of the Clone Wars, the final bit with Vader, where his eyes, you see his eye. I mean, this is a cartoon, but the fucking level of detail. His eyes through the mask, you see his eyes, and it's the human eyes, not the yellow eyes, just for a second before he turns away. And that final scene, it's just so powerful. And you look at it going, this isn't. There's no way young kids will appreciate that final scene. That wasn't made for kids. That was made for fucking Star Wars fans. And it was a you know, Disney might be shit, but here's something awesome, and it really was. It really is.
All right, so we're talking about Star Trek. I've done it again. Pressed the wrong button. Star Trek: Brave New World. Apparently, the spin-off will introduce a new Uhura. I should hope so. And a new Scotty, Chekhov, and Sulu, considering they're part of the crew. And the alternative to Bones, I can't remember what his name was, but we'll click to that in a moment. So this is from a website called We Got This Covered. It makes me want to vomit. But they just talk about how they're going to have a new Uhura. But Jeffrey Combs, and I was talking to Keith about this earlier, and I didn't realize that Jeffrey Combs was originally in the original series of Star Trek. As an 11-year-old. And I've got to find this. I'm hoping Bad in the Comics has got this right. Yeah. So Jeffrey Combs has been in the original version of Star Trek. He's been in Next Generation. He has been in Deep Space Nine as the Vorta, is the one I always remember, that creepy Vorta fella. He's been in Voyager with a ship smash, and he was the blue Andorian in what do you call it, Enterprise. And I preferred I knew him most from Deep Space Nine, and I liked him most in Enterprise. But this guy has done Star Trek more than most.
Did you know he played three characters in DS9? He played an alien in one of the very early episodes, but he played another character, a recurring character. He was one of the Ferengis, and he was brilliant in that. In fact, there's an episode called yes, he's one of the Ferengis.
What Ferengi was
and
he?
he was in. He was the Brunt. He was Brunt. He played Brunt. Brunt was the one that got caught fucking kicked out of the Ferengi thingy, but then he kind of makes up for it in one of my favourite DS9 episodes, which is called The Magnificent Ferengi, where they have to return because their Mugi gets kidnapped and they have to go on a rescue mission to rescue their Mugi, and they have a Vorta that they're going to give as a prisoner swap. But they accidentally kill the Vorta. And they put like little sort of robot things away. Brilliant, but yeah, Jeffrey Combs, Brunt, plays Brunt as well.
Okay.
I love it, but I think he was brilliant in Enterprise because I loved him as the Andorian. That was one of my favourite characters in Enterprise.
Just a quiz. He auditioned for the role of Riker in Next Generation.
Really?
He could have done Riker. It would have been a completely different Riker, but he could have done Riker. He could have held that up and made it his own. I think I actually would have preferred him as Riker now. I think back. If I go back and change it.
I love him. I liked. I recently watched the DS9 Ira Blair documentary, and I loved Coombs' contributions in that. Were really good. No, look, he is a Star Trek alumni through and
yeah, he is. Anyway, we've established his credentials, but it's quite important what he says. He says there's a chasm between what the fans want from Star Trek and what CBS wants to give them. And he's bang on. And being someone who knows the series and has watched the series and starred in the series and all these other things, yeah, if someone's going to say that, I think that old Jeffrey Combs may have a point.
Extremely classy way of doing it. He's not coming out going, he is, but he's doing it in a very classy way. He's not saying shit, but he is. It's interesting. Look, he's not the only one to say this. Interestingly, he was never asked to come back to Discovery. I wonder why. They have in recent days been saying a lot of interesting things around Brave New Worlds. It's going to be episodic, like Monster of the Week thing. Apparently, it's going to return to that hopeful feeling that Star Trek had. No, it's not. I'm sorry, but under Dickhead, unless you're changing your entire creative team, and I mean all of it, and the people in charge, Kurtzman, a lot of them, no, it's not going to be hopeful because you don't like hopeful. But that's what they're saying.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, so going from one car crash to another car crash.
I love this story.
Right. Now, I haven't watched a single episode of Batwoman since it's aired, but I watch a guy called Heel versus Babyface, and I watch him go absolutely fucking mental while watching it. I also watch another one called EFAP, where they get it and they take it apart piece by piece. And I can say, from the peripheral, watching it indirectly via these guys, this show is categorically crap. It's crap in its writing. It's crap in its acting. Yeah, Rick Scott. What's his name? What's his most? She plays the dad in it. Who's a Scottish actor. He just puts in a singular performance because he can't be fucked. Apparently, the Ruby Rose damaged her back, which not good whilst filming the show, and then they almost killed a production assistant, but paralyzed her whilst doing the show too. And Ruby Rose put a thing out saying that she was, how can I put it, leaving the show, but then people then speculated whether she was being fired or not. And I think she was being fired because the way it read more like a stock replacement. And the amount, apparently, if you find pictures of Batwoman in costume here, yeah, it might not be Ruby Rose. It might be the stunt person because she couldn't get in the costume and do the stunts until, I don't think she has done. And apparently she's awkward and that. Dave, why?
Well, she apparently couldn't.
Hang on a second before you go anywhere. Dave, mate, I'm going to call a psychiatrist. You shouldn't have watched any of Batwoman. I will find you a set of YouTube videos to watch rather than that.
I've seen a couple of episodes of it. She look. We said right from the offset that she was shit. She's not a good actress. She plays one part and she plays it mediocre. She's not charismatic. She is not particularly great. She was cast in the role because she's a great big lesbian. That's why they cast her, for no other reason that she was a well-known lesbian that could pass as a Justin Bieber lookalike.
To be fair, Keith, your assumption there is correct, because in that article they say that they're going to begin scouting for another LGBT person to take her place.
Hang on, I was gonna put something across on that one, but I was waiting for Keith to shout his giant flapping maw.
That's why I jumped in there, because he never does.
Yeah, because you're right. They hired her. They hired her because she was a lesbian. Okay, I'll be honest with you. She kind of looks more of a part than probably most of the lesbians that I've seen in Orange Is the New Black. Yeah, Natasha Watson-Mush with the frizzy hair, who was in Russian Doll, couldn't have played Batwoman. But they've hired her because she's a lesbian. That's not the reason you hire someone. You hire them because they can portray the character. They are going down exactly the same route as Nigel said. They're going out the way to hire the L of the LGBTQ fucking AI double plus star, the alphabet people. Yeah. And it's not going to work. They're going to make the same mistake again. Unless they've got someone queued up who they had in mind for the part in the first place who couldn't do it, who would have been excellent. I don't see how it's going to work at all. That's going to be utter bullshit. You need to hire someone. You don't have to be gay to play a gay part. There are plenty of gay actors who have played straight parts and done really fucking good. It's almost a fucking cliche. Yeah.
Could you imagine as a woman going for the role, but you're straight, and you do fantastic, you smash it, and they say at the end, they go, "So are you gay?" And you go, "No, not hired because you're not gay." That's discrimination.
Yes, it is, but it's called positive discrimination, which is apparently allowed. There's a whole argument about that, but it's actually called positive discrimination. But it's bullshit. And also the fact is that they said they were hiring one, but then I heard a rumor the other day that there's somebody in the running who's definitely not a lesbian. Interestingly, the rumors are now becoming more founded is the fact that Ruby Rose couldn't hack the working hours. And she, I mean, in fairness, she's playing the lead role, so she's in most of the shots. So
hold on a second. Right, stop. Right, before you carry on, working hours for actors on set, yeah? They just sit around in their trailers all day. I watched the behind-the-scenes things for Stargate SG-1 when they found out they'd been cancelled, yeah? They had spent the best part of the day learning how to play poker with Claudia Black. Her and half the fucking cast were sitting around the table in Stargate SG-1. Now you have that big kind of boardroom table. They were sitting around that learning how to play poker. When Ben Browder walks out with a fucking sour face because they've just been cancelled. But they don't.
They said her working hours were quite great because she's in a lot of the show. They apparently the lead actors on these shows do a lot of filming. Whether that's true or not, but this is what they've said. She got the ump, so she became an absolute bitch on set, to the point that it was affecting the cast and the crew. So the studio and her came to a mutual agreement. So in other words, the studio went, if you don't fucking resign, we will kick you out. Is basically what the rumor is. But look, she's never been cast. The only reason she was cast is because she was lesbian. She is not a good actress. She is not. She can play one part. Moody fucking lesbian. That's it.
Yeah. I do find it, because the other part of it too is the writing's fucking terrible. The writing is terrible. There was one episode. This is one where I hadn't watched this. It's secondhand, where this guy called Az was watching it, and he lost it because a hacker managed to take the brakes off a train and almost crash it and kill 500 people, even though there weren't 500 people on the train. 500 people, but they let her go in the end because she's gay. What, gay people like disabled? Do they have no agency? Is that what you're saying? That's fucking terrible. What they should have done is they should have gone, right, you're in jail, and then she pops in to she pops in every so often to see her and to check up on her and to talk and to try and bring her around to the right way of doing things. Because I'd have made some character development for both fucking characters, which was missing from the entire show. And you can't do. Gay is not character. It's just an aspect of a person. Yeah. You want something. They've got to be struggling with something. They could have had Ruby Rose could have been addicted to painkillers or something because of an accident. You could have done this with it would have been a bit close to the mark that she had an accident. She took some painkillers to get over the thing from breaking a leg on a bike, and she was addicted to them. And also, when you're fighting and stuff, and you've got your blood's full of painkillers, it makes them more interesting. Yeah, the lesbian things was fine, but it's not the be all and the end all. It's just one aspect.
It was all, they didn't care about that. All they cared about was a gay woman taking over the role of a white man. That's all they cared about. And they did that. They said that Kevin Conroy, arguably one of the most iconic Batman, they made him a bad guy and they had her kick his ass. They did that on purpose.
Kevin Conroy's an old fucking man. And that's not the Bruce Wayne that's in their universe.
No, but it was the symbolism of it, Gav, that they did that in Thingy. It's the whole symbolism. So far as I'm concerned, these people can go fuck themselves because they're a bunch of hypocrites. They don't give a shit about this. It's all virtue signaling. It's all bullshit. That fucking stupid bitch that's taking over the Star Wars movie that claims to be a feminist. She was Harvey Weinstein's fucking personal assistant. There is no way you didn't know what was going on. You are as guilty as he is. So these people, so far as I'm concerned, they're going to fuck themselves.
It goes like this, yeah. If you're going to have a gay superhero, make them good, make them interesting, give them good stories, yeah, because that way everybody can enjoy it regardless. That's what you want. You want people to watch and enjoy regardless. But yeah, God, we haven't even got to the meatiest of our meaty topics this week. You know that, don't you?
You know. Before we get on to the next one, do you know that, what was it, this week, that, what's his face, fucking Chris Sinable made out he was the first person to use gay characters in Doctor Who? Did you hear that? That they were the most... Yeah. Now, excuse me.
Captain Jack Harkness.
Russell T Davies had half the fucking aliens in Cardiff were gay.
Yeah.
But I mean, was it the third or fourth episode of the first season had a gay character in it, and it was fine. It's just these people, and this is the thing. These people drive homophobia. They drive it. They don't make it better. They drive it.
They don't care. They think it's a marketing thing, and they think it's going to get them viewers. And they're going to be told very shortly by AT&T, if you have anything to do with Warner Brothers, stop it. Stop it now.
Yeah.
You're not making us any money. Fuck off. All right. This one's a great one. Nigel, pop up the titles to this one. Right. Twitter's got a bit of a how can I put it? An image problem. All right. There are people who go on there like myself and Nigel, and we play games and stuff online, and we try to entertain people rather pathetically. Yeah, but we try. Then there are people who are how can I describe it? Are softcore webcam girls who are referred to as Twitch thoughts. Yeah, that hoe over there, for those who don't know. And these people kind of get away with a lot of things. And they've been doing some very dodgy stuff here and there. So Twitter, in their wisdom, decided to put together an advisory board. Now, there's the Twitch Ambassador Program, and then there's this like Health and Safety Advisory Board. So they naturally went out and they went and found the most qualified people. No, they didn't. They found crazy dear lady. Nigel, did you watch the video? Please tell me you watched the video.
I did.
It was only a short one. I found the shortest one.
Yeah, I was just fucking weirded out by her.
Yeah. Now this individual, don't contact him or anything, because I think that we should do all the best to keep her out of the spotlight. Yeah. This individual here, Ferociously Steph, I think her name is, thinks that she's a deer. She thinks that she's a woman too. And she thinks that everyone's a white supremacist because Apparently, talking in video games and giving away your linguistic profile is a mark of white supremacy. Yeah. And as you can tell from the shit-eating grin here, they are a rather concerned and honest actor. Like, fuck they are, yeah? This person is thinks that they're a deer. I'm not joking. We'll get into...
Have you got the clip where her friend is stroking her head and she has an orgasm?
Right. Her friend who was stroking her head and that thingy, she was a Twitch ambassador, and because of her behavior and lying about coming second in an Apex Legend game, had been kicked from the ambassador program. So I imagine that Ferociously Steph will get kicked too. I just need to make a quick change because I haven't added the sound in on this. So I'm just going to ditch this for a moment and add the sound in on it.
I think we need. I have, as much as I want to take the piss, and there is, I'm not going to lie, a part of me that really does want to take the piss, but this person is mentally unstable. I hope to God, and I mean this in the nicest way, this is not transphobic. I hope she is pre-op, because if she is post-op, then whoever did her mental profile needs to be kicked off whatever bloody medical profile, because she's unhinged. And I mean that I'm not taking the piss. This person is mentally ill.
Yes, they are mentally ill, and I think that we're coddling people a bit too much. Let's have a quick listen to something she said.
No, I'm just not cool with white supremacy, y'all. It's really not that. I think a lot of you gamers are actually white supremacists. Sorry. Just a fact of how I feel, which isn't a big...
Okay, so this is from a guy called Memonology 101, does some really nice short compressed videos if you want to pick up on a topic or something going on quickly. You heard it from her own mouth that she thinks all white gamers are white supremacists, which is a form of prejudice because you've prejudged everyone. That's wrong. You should do what I do and say there's a chance that you might be an asshole, and then we'll work it out as I address you on an individual basis, and maybe I'll get round to working out the entire population of the planet.
She thinks she's a deer. There's a video where she talks about going out.
I just want to stick on her mental opinions. Yeah. And why the fuck would Twitch hire someone like this? If anything, I would keep them away to protect her. Because
are you moving on to the video where she talks about going into her garden? Have you seen that one?
No, it's not that one you want. It's
it's back there. It's back there. But this is the bit where she thinks, because she talks about going out and eating grass in the garden.
Part of me, when I first watched this, I thought that this was a person doing an awesome troll job. I was looking at it going, God, that's a super troll. Yeah. But this is something she engages in.
So for our podcast listeners, someone stood behind her, almost stroking her head. And like she's behaving a bit like a cat does when you stroke a cat, and they love it.
Thank you.
And then she got a hug.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, poor podcast listeners, they won't understand what we're looking at there. But
they won't understand what we're looking at. Right. This is just I find this madness because this is wrong. This is so wrong on so many different levels, and I'm not. This is someone who needs help and genuinely needs help, and they shouldn't be indulged. They should be given help.
This is why these SJWs, these people that proclaim to stick up for the minorities and all this, they are so dangerous, because we're not. Look, I'm not going to take the piss out of this person because she has issues, and she needs help. And what are Twitch doing? They're giving her a platform. That not only are they putting her up for ridicule, which there has been a fuck sight of on YouTube, giving this person a platform when really what they should be doing is taking this person, talking to this person, and getting this person help, because that it's not normal. And look, I'm not saying what is normal. I'm not trying to, but this person should not be given a platform and should not be put on.
They show off what looks like a very few kind of autistic tendencies, and it's. I don't
I'm
know.
not saying that
And
autistic people can't be.
People with autism are ripe for abuse by these people when it comes to being transgender and whatnot, which is 10-15 years down the line, there's going to be a lot of cases. It'll be the point. It'll be like fucking, what do you call it? It'll be like PPI. Because did anyone trick you into being transgender? Because then we can take them to court for you, and it'll be like that, and for a cash settlement and whatnot. And it's going to be horrendous. And but the long and the short of it is she was put on the Twitch advisory board. She then kind of showed that she was getting drunk on power, and Nigel saw that and stated that earlier with the you've got to pay to see me and whatnot.
You've got to pay to talk in her chat.
Yeah.
And then £5.
Or
basically that's the subscription. If you want to subscribe to someone, you pay £5 to subscribe to someone, and then you get notified whenever you're online. And so what she did is she turned off chat for any normal person like in there, and made it paid only. So only people who have paid the monthly subscription could chat. And so instead of being, inclusive, like you'd expect, she was segregating and secluding people.
Being inclusive.
Did she do this after she was put on the advisory panel and everybody knew who she was? Because you know there's going to be a lot of people giving her.
There's videos. There are other videos. There's one I think that Nigel's talking about. I think it was pre that, but there's another video that backs up what Nigel said. She was making it a thing out that she was untouchable, and you'd have to make a second account and this, that, and the other. She issued an apology.
She said that even if you make a second account, we'll then ban you then as well. She
what do you call it? It's just fucked up. Just leave it at that. So she's fucked up. So let's try and go on something a bit more nice. So PS5. I think I don't know if Nigel put this one through that PS5 will be sold on the strength of its sequels, which is a good thing because some of those sequels are good. And the PS4 games, most of the PS4 games were open world, and the PS5 architecture is set up for open world. This is the thing when we talk about the Xbox X series and PS5. PS5 is going to be open world king, but I think when you get like the corridor-y kind of shoot with things like a Doom Eternal style game, that's where the Xbox X series is probably going to kind of have the edge over it. But yeah, we've got all these famous ones coming through. We're not going to have Uncharted. Horizon Zero Dawn, hopefully a third one of that and the final one, so then we can move on to something new.
Be good to see where they go with God of War after what happened in that one, the latest one.
Yeah,
there wasn't too much left over, but it'd be interesting to see what they do if they do. Spider-Man was decent, still not completed, getting closer.
Awesome that game. Spider-Man was fabulous. Bloodborne, haven't been playing that. I'll be honest with you, but they're gonna have good sequels. Hopefully, they'll put some newer content out too, which will be good. Doesn't mean Xbox will be shit because they've got what they got. They got new studios. Yeah. Now, the guy who does the voice of Joel. No, change the thing.
I am.
The guy who does the voice of Joel in The Last of Us. Troy Baker. Has come out and he's kind of got a little emotional stuff on a Twitter post. Where is it? Yeah, I think here. Kind of got emotional on Twitter post saying, "Oh, a couple of screenshots aren't going to ruin the game." You're right, a couple of screenshots aren't going to ruin the game, but when you've got an hour and a half's worth of content, that might ruin the game. And I think he's looking at it now. I think that he might be being put under pressure because he came out and said keep an open mind. This is a weird thing. If anyone says keep an open mind about something, yeah, it's divisive already, and they know it's divisive. Yeah, they know that this is going to split the fan base down the middle and turn around and say half of yists and phobes, and not even half of yists and phobes, 10% of you are not yists and phobes and stuff. And I think that the Troy here is having a bit of regret about his honesty, and I think he might be being put under pressure because he came across as a bit emotional and a bit. How can I put it? Mad. I don't know if I can just kill his volume there. But yeah, he looks because look, he's begging like he's done something wrong. Hands together, please. Forget what I said. I'm so sorry. I don't think this is him. I think that he's been put under pressure by either Sony or something. Because you could imagine he gets a lot of work in video games, and Sony have a lot of influence in those spheres, and TV too. So if he upsets them, I don't know why. I think they should just do with The Last of Us exactly what they did with Lockdown 3 and just gently bury it. Forget about it ever happening. But this guy, I think, is that. All right, let's move on to the next one, which is next one. Right, so when Doom External, you finally got to go outside. Doom Eternal launched on the PlayStation and PC and whatnot. And sorry, on the PC. It had a thing called Denuvo in it, and Denuvo was a bit of anti-cheat software. Unfortunately, it also had the game without Denuvo on it. And they put this Denuvo thing in it, and people fucking hate it. So naturally, the people at id did the sensible thing and went, customers don't like it, then we'll remove it. So they're going to remove it. Like sensible people would. And it's a good thing. And this is just an example of decent customer service. It doesn't affect me because I've got a PlayStation version of it, and because it's locked into the hardware and the PlayStation Network, cheating's a little on the difficult side. Not impossible. But yeah, they removed it, and it was funny because they also put the game in there without it on too. They did some updates with putting in demons and stuff. So if you play Doom Eternal and you get killed by a demon, which is probably going to be those fucking bastards with the shields, I can't remember what they call them now. They turn up in someone else's game saying that they've killed you, and now they're going after you. So like, how can I put it? What was that game, The Shadows of Mordor? You had like a nemesis system, and I think that's their version of a nemesis system.
Oh right, yes. Yeah, I know the one you mean. Yeah. You can take over in Shadows of, yeah, I think it's Shadow of Mordor, the Lord of the Rings. And you kill the enemy or get him near death, and then you can possess them, for example. I think it's not quite possessing, but you control them. Yeah. And they'll have sort of this nemesis, and then you can tell them to try and take over this one or weaken them, and you go in there and you can eventually build up. I've only played it for about half hour. I've got it and I liked it, but then other games came out and I got squirrel, and I played something else. It seems like a very good. There was 2 games of that actually. Shadow of Mordor, I think.
Yeah.
I've got the first one. I need to play it because it's actually a really good game, and I do like that sort of system. The game I showed you yesterday on the PS2, the Third Age, Lord of the Rings Third Age, that's got an evil system where when you get to a certain point in the main game, you can then go to the main menu, select evil mode, and then you can play as the things that you've been killing. So you play as the orcs, for example, and the different characters to kill your characters. And it's scary. Every time you get passed around, it gets harder and harder, and you get a better and better creature to play as. Eventually, I ended up with a big. The first one, you end up as a big troll. You remember when you're going through it gets to Morva, you come up against a troll. Yeah, and you get that big troll. You can play as him, defeat the good people, and you earn credits or items for your main save, and you tell it what save you want to put them into. So you can do that. I quite like playing as the bad guy sometimes, and that's quite interesting. It's interesting to do that.
Okay.
Why not? It sounds like
Yeah.
a decent
But it's
thing.
going to
if
be
you can do
picking,
it.
it'll be picking people, characters, enemies that have been defeated by other people. So you'll get like a pool of it. And the worst thing is I've completed it. I almost completed 100%. I don't really fancy going back and because I trawled through everything. There are like 2 soft toys or collectibles or plushies or whatever I need to get, but both of them involve dropping down a well, punching a wall at a certain time, and then jumping through it. And I just was like, nah, fuck that.
Can't be
I'll
bothered.
take on giant bosses with fucking machine guns and stuff because that's part of the game. But doing that jump down a hole and timing it, fuck that.
Unless
Anyway,
you can save it at the top of the well and just keep going. There's no point.
yeah. So
this one's interesting.
This one is interesting. More fucking crazy people. More crazy people. Beta people who kidnap children's pets and kill them. And that's a fact, I'm afraid. I decided to protest an in-game museum featuring fish in Animal Crossing. And because the people who play Animal Crossing aren't very, how can I put it, politically active, just confused the fuck out of everyone. And this is the thing is, I don't want to ruin anything for you, Peter, yeah? These fish aren't real. They're pixels.
And here's the thing.
Oh,
here's the thing that I read into this.
What did you read into this?
I've not played the game, but I've heard in order to be able to see that museum and bits in the museum, you have had to fish out of the ocean. You'd have to fish yourself, so capture fish yourself and put them in there yourself in order for you to see it, to then protest it. So the very thing you're protesting against, you've had to do in order to trigger the thing you're protesting against. Hypocrites.
Yeah, because they were protesting empty tanks.
No.
No. These people were protesting. I remember this because this is not because they were protesting empty tanks. So they were some of them were out there and they were protesting, and there was nothing in the tank.
This thing was pointed out to Peter, and Peter, the official Peter, Twitter, I think, responded to them saying, "Oh no, we've invaded somebody else's space and stolen the fish." And then people pointed out to them, "You can't actually do that in this game, you lying bastards." What is the point?
I have seen screenshots of them standing around empty tanks.
The thing is, in order to see that, you have to have caught fish, which they're against, and put them in there themselves.
They're against. Are they against the domestication of dogs and things like that as well? I guess
against everything like that. Yeah.
These are fucking idiots. They're just morons. Really, fish in tanks? They're fucking goldfish. For God's sake.
Yeah, but these aren't even fish. These don't even exist.
No, I know, but what they're saying is it's what it represents. That's their mental argument, isn't it? So
it represents them going crazy, and also that means that people think they're crazy, so they're not legitimate anymore. That's what they're doing. With every passing moment, they do something to make them less worthy of their cause. More crazy, which means people will put off them rather than with them. I'm all for, treating animals well, and that's what I think Peter should represent.
Yeah.
But it seems they're going after normal people who do normal things with animals, as in feed them, look after them, make sure they're, looked after nicely. They're going after these people. Fucking nuts.
Okay.
So,
all right. The next story is yours, Nigel.
It is mine.
And I was just like point something out before it goes. I'm a self-respecting Liverpool fan. I refuse to be talking about scummy Manchester United because they scum. They're total scum.
Oi,
Isn't that right, Keith?
Oi.
Before Keith gets to say anything about whatever that club's called.
Doesn't matter. I popped him on mute. It's going to take you a second to find the button.
Liverpool fan in the same sentence. Self-respecting Liverpool fan. Self-respecting and Liverpool fan in the same sentence. Are you sure? Now,
anyway, I just got a story. Let the boy
So,
tell the story.
Right. Essentially, it goes like this. Football Manager is a game which I would wager a guess most football fans would enjoy playing because they get to manage their own club or a little club and take them through to the big leagues. And this is a worldwide game, which has been around. Well, in this version, Football Manager is probably since 2000 and something. Prior to that, it was called Championship Manager from about 1992. Run by Sega. It's one of Sega's biggest exports, I think. Yeah. And Sports Interactive. And so I also have heard that the manager at this particular club called Manchester United, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, enjoys playing it too.
Hey, I'm the baby-faced assassin.
Yes.
That's how I describe Ole Gunnar Solskjaer.
Baby-faced assassin. Yeah, he's a bit older than us, I believe. And he looks younger, which is strange. And also, Manchester United's own scouts have requested from the company producing this if they could use their database for scouting players. That said, Manchester United, during this torrid time we're going through, in their ultimate wisdom, have taken great umbrage and decided to try and sue Sports Interactive / Sega because they only took the trademark out for the name of the club and not for the logo of the club. Now, Manchester United is saying, despite it being this way since the very beginning and them having no problem with it up until now, they're saying that the two go together, and therefore, because you've leased or we've given you allowance to use the name Manchester United, you should also be obliged to take the logo of the club. That's what they're saying. Now, I know that Manchester United at the moment are in a bit of a pinch for money. They've been losing quite a few millions since this whole pandemic has started.
Thanks, China.
Quite a few. So couldn't care less if Manchester United are losing money, to be fair. But this is ridiculous. They've leased it. And at the time, if they wanted them to lease both at the same time, when they asked to lease the name, they should have they come as a pair. They didn't. They went, yeah, go ahead, got the lease. You can use the name. As with every Premiership club, and as far as I can tell, all the clubs in the game except, I believe, for maybe Juventus, because I think Juventus have got a special deal with PES. I think even in FIFA, they can't call it Juve. They can't call it Juventus. They've got to call it something else.
Yeah.
I can't remember what they call it in it, but something like that. It's just ridiculous. I've never heard of it. But what they're saying is you're allowing people to mod your game, so you can actually import faces and things that are missing from the game and logos and so forth. You can miss it. And they're saying they at first were trying to take down sites who had created a library of logos and things that you could import into your game yourself. And they've gone after those, shutting all these people down. And then they've started going after, this is only Manchester United, by the way. And they've started going after Sports Interactive now for allowing people to be able to put things into the game. The game actually comes with an in-game editor that you can buy. So Sports Interactive allow you to edit stats and names of things and create your own leagues and all that sort of stuff. So I just find it pathetic, to be honest. I don't know about you, but
I don't know.
It's back to this. People who are enjoying the game and they're seeking a way to get rich off it.
It's just one of those things.
Because of them not infringing on the rights.
It's weird because sometimes I might do these things as like kind of saber rattling things just to make sure that people don't take the piss, even if they don't have the intention of following through on it. They can do it just to make shit people up a bit, so people don't don't do it, and you don't get silly knockoff stuff. Okay, I haven't got a funny story for this week's what the fuck at the end. I've got. We all like a good shed. And some people have kitted their sheds out to be better than their houses. So the title of this article is called "Sheds Hidden Behind Properties Are More Impressive Than Their Actual House." So we've got some examples here. So shed behind the house, catching people's attention.
Is that the house or the shed?
That's the shed.
Jesus Christ, that's bigger than the house.
We don't know because I think that's the house there. The house probably is big, but the husband's probably built it to get away from the wife. We'll be there in a couple of years, guys. We'll be there in a couple of years, guys. So look. So you have like the man cave. Look at that. Right. For those who listen on the podcast, some guy has literally kitted his shed out to look like a exclusive pub for him and his mate.
Although it's made out of corrugated iron.
Yeah.
So when it rains, and I don't know what country this is in, when it rains, that's going to be loud.
It's going to be Australia, isn't it?
It's Australia. Look, I put my money on that being Australia. Yeah, it's from realestates.com.au. So yes, it's Australia.
Oh, right.
Australian, blatantly Australian.
But when it rains in Australia, you fucking hear it.
That's going to be hot in there then, isn't it? It's like an oven.
He's got a fan. No, he's got a single fan that'll take care of everything.
He does. He's got a single oscillating fan in the ceiling.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
So clearly this seat here, the seat that's closest to us, is his seat.
Yeah, because it's pointing at that.
Yeah.
He's probably got a TV on the left and he's got a bar for everyone. No, it's a nice redwood bar.
What else have we got here? There, so you can look in this.
No, it's the same way. It's got man
same
cave.
Place.
Yes.
And there you go. Inside the actual house.
It's a single room.
It's a single white painted wall looking at his shed. Yeah. Yes.
I'm sitting here looking at the shed when I could be in that shed looking at this.
But yes, so it should be called Aussie Man Creates Shed Better Than His House, because that's the case.
I've seen some creations of people where they've built I think there was one in Britain actually. It's like a bunker. So he's dug up his garden, 9 foot deep, and quite long. Digs it down, builds up like a bunker underneath the normal level of his garden, and then fills it back over with glass, and you wouldn't know it's there. And you go down it, and it's a proper man cave. You got all the consoles down there, TVs, stereo, bar, nice, comfy sofas. Fantastic, mate.
Isn't that the guy that does all these crazy engineering projects on YouTube? And he built a bunker in the back garden. He's a Star Wars fan because he built a land speed and stuff. Did you see it on YouTube?
No, I saw it on an article. But you know, if I had the room,
there's a few people who've done it, but there is a bloke in England that got planning permission and did it and built, and he does all these. He's the one that built a bloody Imperial Walker for his kid. And all sorts of things. You know it if you saw him on YouTube. He's built a bunker similar, man cave.
Yeah.
Practices band in there. He's got his consoles in there. He's got all his Star Wars shit. He does his YouTube videos from there now. It's like this fucking great big bunker. You would, as Mike said, you wouldn't fucking know it's there.
You just walk. It just looks like a garden because you can play in the garden. It's at the same level. Underneath that.
It's not comb over, it's just comb down. It's there, it's just really thin.
Gareth, which is what?
I don't sound rude or anything. Nigel's got a full head of hair, but you can't see it because it's invisible hair. Isn't that right, Nigel? It's a full mane of hair. If you touch it, it feels like you're brushing down a lion.
I have to say, after 1 week, your beard is impressively growing. I won't give you that. Fuck me, he's got a touch already.
Fucking quick, I tell you.
Yeah, I couldn't lose the water baby comment. All right, I think it's
you can't really see the beard that much, but the Senor Dirty Sanchez is really Nigel flexing his muscles. Hello, Senor.
I shaved last Saturday, and now look at it. It's already coming back.
All right.
Yes.
On that note, I think we're going to say goodbye. There's a few things we need to wrap up. One, Nigel, plug the Twitter.
We've got a Twitter account. Typically, when you're on Twitter, what you need to do is do a quick @MonkeyNutPunch, and then you should find us, and then you should follow us. And what we try to do is tweet. That's what we do on Twitter sometimes.
We
If we
tweet
remember.
out stuff. If we're doing something, we tweet it out. So
Yeah, we see
Yeah.
stuff, we retweet it, or we might tweet. And we'll tweet when we go live on this, when we go live on Facebook, or
hang on. Don't ruin the surprise, Nige. Fuck off, Alexa. I thought I put that on. It's the one
so your Alexa goes off when you go, don't ruin a surprise, Nige.
Don't ruin the surprise.
ruin the
It's
surprise,
my
Nige.
Alexa,
Shut up.
apparently. Fuck off, Alexa. Okay.
Okay.
Ding dong. Bing bong. Keith.
So
Hang on. No. I'll come back to you in a second. It'll all make sense. Keith, next week we're doing what? On a Saturday.
We are doing our second fast food movies. We are. And we are doing another movie from 1996. It wasn't. In fact, I think the next 3 movies are all from 1996.
good era.
That was an era, yeah.
Yeah,
Nige,
Are you allowed to say what?
Nige, now your turn.
film?
Wednesday. No, not yet. It's a surprise.
Ah,
It's a surprise until I make the thumbnail. As soon as I make the thumbnail, because he could change his mind at the last moment. He has the
okay.
option.
so he's got 3 films to pick from there.
He's
So-
got-
No, we know what
we know which
know-
one it is, but we know what it is, and we think we know what the next one's going to be. But
Yeah,
Anyway.
it is going to be that.
Nige, what are you doing Wednesday evening?
So Wednesday, I'm going to attempt to stream a game, and it's going to be a PS2 game. I haven't decided which one yet. Could be one of 2 things. It could be Lord of the Rings.
Just a tip, Nige. Something with not too much inventory management, because I know you. We don't want to spend an hour watching you rearrange your inventory. Oh fuck no. He's looking at them going, they both got inventory management. Well, one's got skills management, and I need to sort it out. And they got perks too. So I've got passive perks and thingy perks and buffs and debuffs.
Well,
and then I need to add all the things and then sort out the.
Can you just stream now? Because I need to get to sleep quite early tonight.
yeah, you see, the game I was thinking of is a little bit like that, but no, I'm joking.
Of course
No.
it is like that, Nige. Of course it's like that. And I'm going to do this here 3 hours later. Right,
Oh, I
I'm
know-
going to add my magic powers to
No,
this
no,
one.
hang on. No, this is the way it's going to go. I'm playing adventure game. I won't put the name in. I was about to say what game we're playing on doing. Yeah, and what I'm going to do is we're going to go out and we're going to battle the beast. But before we battle the beast, I've got to sort my inventory out. Yeah, and then it's like kind of an hour and a half of him sorting his inventory out, and then he walks forward 1 step and he goes, "Right, that's it for the stream. I'll catch you later, guys."
Now I've saved.
You know what? You
time.
know what the crafty bugger. You know what the crafty bugger's really playing though. His PS2 is going to have a breakdown, and he's going to resurrect his old Windows 98 PC. The next thing you know, fucking Dark Ages of Camelot. That's what he's going to be streaming. I'm telling you.
Dark Age Camelot
Don't
will
you
work
fucking
on
put the
my
idea in his head. But anyway, the idea is that we stream games, yeah. And we're me and Nige are going to take turns, but I'll be keeping Nige company, so we'll be chatting away there. So you know,
In check.
and vice versa.
Yeah,
So
so
when I
we'll
play, he'll keep me in
chat over
check.
Skype because we're still socially distanced.
Yeah.
But you never know, we might try and do something a little bit once all this is cleared up and so forth. We might be able to do something in the same room. But yeah, we're not planning to go with this. Gav's done one, did Streets of Rage last week on Wednesday, which is probably still on Twitch, which you can find Monkey Nut Punch TV. And unfortunately, for some reason, YouTube didn't work. But you can find us on YouTube as well. Look for Monkey Nut Punch. And Gav's got a few games.
Yes,
I've got
a load of
retro
games that I played during my kid when I was a kid, and I want to introduce Nigel to them.
Yeah.
and
I've got some games I used to play on the PS2.
Okay.
And
But
also
anyway.
the N64, which he used to play, which I haven't played yet, but I bought.
We've got a couple of games.
GoldenEye. You need to stream GoldenEye.
And
GoldenEye.
I've got
you could
GoldenEye to
fucking stream it because I can't believe. Oh, I never played GoldenEye. What?
In the first 10 minutes, and it was tough for me to get used to that control.
Play
Fucking
GoldenEye. It'll be funny.
Anywho, we also have a podcast, and you'll find our podcasts on there when Keith decides to mix them down. And on that note, it's goodbye from me.
it's goodbye from me.
That's my fucking watch off. No, go away, Google. If it's not Alexa, it's Google. Piss off. And on that note,
Alexa,
bye-bye.
say goodbye.
Echo,
Goodbye.
say goodbye. You couldn't hear that.
Siri? Oh, I don't have Siri. Good. No.
Hang on a second. And before we go, someone's trying to plug their YouTube channel on ours. Bastard. Who would do such a thing, Dave? Who would bow and kowtow to such selfless self-promotion? You're promoting in our fucking description. You know that, don't you, Dave? Okay, not your YouTube channel, but your book is.
Yeah, it is.
Do you want to read it out? What the name of the channel
Dave.
is?
Come on.
His YouTube channel is. Can't hear anything. It's the infamous Master P on YouTube, and he talks about his book and he does games in it. So we are terrible. We are terrible at saying goodbye. So I'm going to say goodbye and press the button now. Guys, say goodbye.
This is the equivalent of us on the phone trying to say goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.